Anime is the sole reason why harsh reality, sadness, and depression doesn't hurt as bad as it would without anime. Anime has a lot of genres for every mood and emotions. And once in a while, we need to get rid of the bottled up emotions. Today, I will tell you about top 10 sad animes so that you could watch them and cry out loud. Clannad and Clannad After Story, an anime that tells us about the story of Tomoya Okazaki, who dislikes his life and feels as if nothing ever good will happen. But this all changes when our protagonist meets Nagisa Furukawa. He learns that Nagisa herself has a serious illness, due to which she had to repeat a year, and her dream of having a successful high school club may never exist. After seeing Nagisa being so energetic, cheerful, and confronting her problems head-on, Tomoya feels like he's not alone anymore, and he decides to help Nagisa alongside with his new friends, and he feels like life has more to offer. The Night After Story takes place after both Tomoya and Nagisa have graduated from high school. Unable to choose a career path after becoming an adult, he finally understands the value of dedication and work ethic. Together, the couple faces their problems head-on. But even then, life still does not do justice to Tomoya. He finds himself where he began his journey from. With a mix of romance, sadness, and a bit of comedy, Clannad is easily one of the best sad anime out there. It is honestly very rare to see an anime where the whole anime depicts the motherhood and a mother's undying love for her kids. And you know an anime is going to make you brawl out when the legend Makoto Shinkai himself praises and gets jealous of the anime. Makia tells us the story of Makia, who belongs to a mystical race called Ayos. Ayos can live for hundreds of years, and because of their such trait, the greedy kingdom of Mozart attacks her homeland. Amidst the chaos, Makia escapes somehow. Once again, she finds herself all alone. In the forest where she lands, she finds herself a human baby, whom she decided to name Ariel. Not knowing anything about the human and their culture, she still decides to raise the baby as her own. Despite still being a kid herself, she takes on the role of motherhood and loves Ariel like her own blood, and provides him with everything that can make Ariel happy. As a kid, even Ariel loves his mother a lot, but as he grows up and gains a bit of maturity, he doubts if Makia is even his real mother or not, since she hasn't aged a bit. After learning the truth and getting into an argument, he decides to leave Makia. Only time will tell if Ariel will go back to his mother or not. This is a story about how Naho, high school student, finds a letter addressed to her. The only weird thing about the letter that the author of the letter was none other than her from 10 years into the future. The letter addresses about her whole life and her regrets, hoping her past self won't make the same mistake. One of the regrets being not able to save a new transfer student, Kakeru, and also her childhood crush who had committed suicide. Now, with her new power along with her friends, do their best in order to save Kakeru and not to make the same mistake again. Personal opinion, it's honestly sad that Kakeru's family problems, his death, and Naho's desperate attempt to save Kakeru's life compares nothing in front of the sacrifice and pain their friend Suwa had to go through. Sad anime don't usually have to do with heartbroken love or the death of someone close. Sometimes, sad animes even makes us cry, sad, and even disgusted when they depict the harsh truth of the world. Banana Fish is one such anime. Banana Fish tells us about how the world actually is and how child molestation, human trafficking, murder, and drugs still cause harm to the world and also to the young youth, who after becoming a victim, gets down to the dark side. The anime tells us the story about Ash Lynx, a teenager who is part of a gang in the New York City. He was originally picked up off the streets when he was just a little kid by his godfather, Dino, who also is a mafia boss. Ash is set on his journey to avenge his brother who got paralyzed while his deployment in Iraq. He later learns that Banana Fish was responsible for his brother's condition. Set on a journey to find the identity of Banana Fish, he encounters a Japanese boy called Eiji Okumura. He quickly gets close to him and forms a bond which he wasn't able to form with anyone else. Together, they face the harsh reality of child trafficking and murder while still avenging Ash's brother. It's honestly just sad to see how Ash gets raped and molested in almost every episode, and in order to protect his loved ones, he endures it. But despite his endurance and being on the run to save and avenge his loved ones, he still fails and loses the lot of comrades. An anime with excellent animation, soundtrack, and storyline. Your Name tells us the story about Mitsuha, a high school girl who is tired of living in a secluded tiny countryside town of Itamori, and a high school boy called Takita Tachibana who has a hard time juggling with his job and dream to become an architecture in Tokyo. They both dream of being in each other's bodies, but as the day passes by, they realize that it's just not a dream and that they have actually been swapping bodies. Mitsuha now experiences life in Taki's body, while Taki experiences what the countryside is like. As this twisted phenomena brings them together, they start to search for each other, and slowly and gradually they start to develop feelings. How would their relation come out as? Only time will tell.
ねえ、つかさん。私、とっても幸せだった。そろそろ、夢の時間は、終わりなので。
Classic Memories tells us the story about Tsukasa Mizukage, an 18-year-old who failed his college exams. Through some connections, he lands a job in SAI Corp, which deals with the creation of Griftia, highly advanced androids which are almost indiscernible from normal humans. They have a lifespan of almost 9.5 years. While working there, he meets a beautiful Griftia called Ayla. He is assigned to the Terminus Station 1, which deals with retrieving Griftias who are almost at their end. Ayla, a veteran and one of the best Griftias for the job, teams up with our male protagonist, and while working together, Tsukasa develops feelings for Ayla. He learns that Ayla herself has little time left, but despite that, he still develops feelings for her. A romantic relationship between a human and a Griftias with such a short lifespan was almost unheard of. How will their relationship come out as? Only time will tell. As young kids, we form a great bond between our friends. We spend a lot of time together and do almost everything together. But as we grow apart and get busy with our own life and hurdles, we tend to drift apart from our childhood friends. Anohana, the flower that bloomed that day, this is the story of Jinta, who now, a high school student, is not the least bit interested in going to the school. Instead, he stays at home with a girl called Menma. Menma, Jinta's childhood friend, is now a ghost who had passed away in her childhood. Due to some unfulfilled wishes, she still exists in the mortal realm and doesn't pass on to the other side. Jinta, Menma, and their childhood friends had grown apart after Menma's death. The reason for Jinta's reclusive behavior is very sad and heartbreaking, since he had feelings for Menma, and her not being in his life anymore, this does not make it worth living in this world normal. After learning the truth, the other friends, after being drifted apart for so long, once again come together, so that they could help Menma pass on by fulfilling her wish. Learn how fate brings them together, and the story will only unfold as you watch the whole anime.
死ぬのやめるって言わなきゃこれ燃やすわよ。あんたが汗水垂らして稼いだ170万
easily one of the top set anime out there, and a great movie as well. A Silent Voice tells us the story of Shoya Ishida, a high school student who has these urges to unalive himself and cannot look anyone with straight eyes because of the guilt and regrettable actions he had done in the past. And once out, Shoya, along with his friends, would bully a poor deaf Nishimiya just to get rid of their boredom. They would rip off her hearing aids again and again. After Nishimiya's mother learned the truth of her daughter being bullied, things escalates. Toyo alone was left to blame for everything that had happened to Nishimiya. Now, in his high school, he has matured a bit and starts to regret his actions. And he wants to make amends with Nishimiya and makes things better. How will his actions to change his past work out for the relationship between Shoya, Nishimiya, and their old friends?
君は嫌がるかもしれないけどさ、やっぱり私は君の膵臓を食べたい。
Despite having a title straight out of a scary and zombie apocalypse movie, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is nothing of the sort. It won't make you scared and make your pants wet. Rather, it's gonna make you go through a roller coaster of emotions and in the end, make your eyes wet. Anime tells us the story of an aloof, bookworm protagonist who is very much to himself and has not the least bit of interest in others' life, as he believes no one has any interest in him either. But this all changes when he finds the diary on a hospital bench. Unable to get rid of the temptation to read a new book, he goes through it. Turns out, the diary belonged to his cheerful classmate Sakura. He learns that his cheerful classmate was suffering from pancreatic cancer, which no one knew about, not even her close friends. Sakura realizes that, despite knowing her secret, he still treats her the same way. Wishing to do all the fun things that she wanted to do as a normal schoolgirl, she convinces the male lead to spend time with her and indulge in all the fun and bucket list activities. As time passes by, they go closer and form a bond. Only time will tell what fate has written for them. The reason why I have not mentioned the main character's name is because in the whole anime, his actual name and not the surname has actually only been mentioned once. So, in order to not spoil it, I have not mentioned it over here. Anime with beautiful animation and soundtrack. Fireworks tells us about Norimichi Shimada and his friends who one summer morning go to the quest to find out if fireworks looks round or flat from the side. They forge a plan to find the answer at Mushimo Festival's firework display. However, Norimichi finds himself conflicted when his female classmate, Nazuna Oikawa, plans to run away from home and wants Norimichi to join her. Things go awry in the attempt to escape. A strange orb in Nazuna's possession gives them a second chance at staying together. After which, Norimichi finds himself in a time loop where he finds different ways so that both him and Oikawa could be together. In my personal opinion, despite fireworks being an amazing animation with beautiful scenery and amazing songs from Daoka and other than Kenji Yonezu, the anime in the bit of the storyline can get quite boring. But hey, that's just my opinion. No anime is a bad anime. It's just the viewer's perspective that brings an anime to life or either buries it. Give it a chance, and I'm sure you will fall in love with it.